welcome to my channel. My name is Holly Matthews and I'm a self-development coach. I'm the founder of the Happy Me Project and I'm a mom of 2 girls. And today on this channel, we are discussing fear, but a very specific type of fear. Today we are talking about the fear of change or the fear of uncertainty. Now in the world right now, we are currently in the middle of a global pandemic. I don't know if you've noticed, I've kind of forgotten, I haven't been outside in a while. Is it still happening? I assume that it is. So in a pandemic, and over the last year since the beginning of 2020, the world has felt more uncertain than it possibly did before. I don't know if you felt this, let me know in the comments, but it's just felt so uncertain. We have felt out of control. There's been a lot of change, a lot of things that we've had to adapt to very quickly. And not just as individuals, but as the whole world has had to adapt and change, and everything has felt really pacey in its change. Now the reality is that things are always changing. Things are always and always have and always will, and things are actually always uncertain. But it's just been slapped in our face very recently, and so I think it's become something that suddenly we feel really aware of, and that makes us feel really out of control. So the reason we feel like that is because our brain likes to be in control. It makes sense, doesn't it? When our brain knows what's going on, it can work out what its next steps should be and how, because essentially our brain is just trying to keep us alive, right? That's its main purpose. Keep us alive, keep us functioning. And if it doesn't know what the next thing is going to be, that uncertainty makes us feel really uncertain. That's not really a very helpful word, but it makes us feel unsettled in some way. And we are, as people, we would rather create stories that don't even have any validity to make us feel more certain. We would rather make up fictional stories in our head about why something is happening, whatever the situation is, than accept that there are some things we just don't have the answer to, and there are some things that we're going to have to deal with in the moment. And that's just, even saying that, I'm like, really, can we not just, if we just knew, if we could just plan, it would be fine, it would feel better. But that's how it is. In fact, I read a quote from Tim Ferriss, who is a really successful podcaster, and he said that we as people would rather be unhappy than uncertain. And I heard that and I was like, that's scarily true, isn't it? We would rather be confident and certain about misery than be uncertain about what the future might be or what could be around the corner. We would rather know categorically, and that's sometimes why we hold on to really awful limiting beliefs about our lives, these kind of old BS stories that we hold on to, and we hold on to them sometimes because it's better the devil you know, isn't it? It's the thing that we are certain about, that we can go, well, yeah, it's miserable, but at least I know what's coming. At least I know what's around the corner. So how do we deal with these feelings of uncertainty? What do we do to try and give ourselves some kind of something to hold on to while we walk through all of this stuff? Because certainly now we are very aware of the world being an uncertain, shaky, movable place. It does make us feel weird. We do feel very, very out of kilter. So the first thing that I want you to consider is understanding that there are some things in life that you can control and there's some things that you can't. That might seem the most obvious thing, but we often try to control things, or at least think we're controlling things by just worrying about them. And so we grasp on and think, well, if I overthink about this, and if I worry about it, maybe if I talk to my friends about it, and I'm going to actually be able to control it. But there are many things that are so out of control. There are, global pandemic, out of our control. There's only certain things we can control within that. Other people's behavior, we can't control that. Would like to, would love to be the puppet master, not gonna be. So we can't control that stuff. We can't control necessarily some health conditions that we might have, or other people's health conditions, or whether our loved ones will die or get sick, or any of that stuff. We can't control it, and that feels awful. That feels really uncertain. We're full of these what ifs in our head. What if this happens? But what if this happens? And we worry that we won't be able to cope if that happens, right? We think, oh, if that happens, I won't know what to do. I won't be prepared for that. I won't know what to do next. So it's that accepting some things I can control, some things I can't. The things that I cannot control, I have to learn to let go of the grasp on it. In Buddhist culture, they talk about the impermanence of stuff. So the fact that everything is always changing, that nothing is ours forever, that our grasping onto things is the thing that actually causes us pain. And that makes sense, doesn't it? When we grasp onto relationships and we think I want this to be like this forever because this thing makes me happy, or a job that we love and we think this makes me happy, I'm going to hold tight to this. Even our children, if you've got children that have flown the nest, mine haven't yet, they're too young. I might kick them out soon because they're doing my head in, to be honest. Homeschooling, it's a lot. I might kick them out. They can float. No, I'm more joking. But when your children fly the nest, that's that feeling of that letting go of what they do next. And that's a scary, uncertain, unsettling feeling, isn't it? But it's understanding that nothing is ours forever. Nothing stays the same forever. Not good, not bad. Now that's powerful. I think that's a positive thing, because when we're in the midst of our bad, we can remind ourselves of the same fact. When we're going through tough stuff, nothing stays the same forever. That pain will not be in that way. It will not be that intense forever. No matter what we think it will be, our brains and our bodies are so resilient. So reminding yourself that nothing stays the same. Learning to ride the wave of this stuff. And I know when we're in the thick of it, that's not straightforward. It's not easy, and we have to train ourselves to understand that. I do a lot of meditation, and whether you've done meditation or not, I would really recommend giving it a go and having a look at different types of meditations, listening to guided meditations, people who talk you through it. But make sure that you find the person's voice that you actually like listening to. Otherwise, 2 minutes in, you're going to be like, why are they speaking like that? Why do they pronounce that word like that? I can't bear it. So make sure that you do like the person first and then listen to it. But do some sort of calm breathing, because when we connect with our breath, it's a really powerful way of changing our state and changing how we feel about a situation. The feeling, if you do the opposite of calm breathing and you do really erratic, sharp, short breathing up here, instantly you feel a little bit more unsettled. And you can try this now if you want to feel unsettled for a minute so that I can prove my point. Then stop and take a moment to just breathe calmly. So every time you want to try and control something that you actually can't control, and you get that urge, and it's where we just worry about something, we're just ruminating it and just spinning it around in our heads. I wish this wasn't happening. I don't want this to be happening. When we get into that locked, stuck headspace, I want you to take a moment to just go, hey, I'm just going to breathe. I'm just going to focus on that. Just taking a moment. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just breathe. Just take a moment to breathe and remind yourself that nothing stays the same forever. Things will move and go and change. And when we allow that impermanence to just wash over us, it's actually a really powerful thing. Now, the other thing to remember is that not everything changes. Not everything about us changes. So let's say everything outside of you is changing. The world is changing. You've lost your job, you've started a new relationship, you've had children, your children have flown the net, whatever's going on, right? There's loads of stuff happening, loads of things changing, chuck in a global pandemic, everybody's freaking out. But the core of you hasn't changed completely, right? There is still some fundamentals of who you are in this moment that probably haven't changed that much, right? And they're going to go with you. And so you can use that feeling as an anchor, knowing that there are absolutely lots of things that are changing all the time around you, but there is a certain element of you and inside of you that stays the same and goes with you through this, with all its baggage and all its memories and all its lessons. It's going to come with you and ride this wave with you, and that can give us a bit of a sense of peace and a sense of harmony, understanding and focusing on the bigger picture, your bigger purpose as well. So for example, over the last year, with everything that's been going on, there's going to be many of you that had goals and ambitions and things that you wanted to do that just haven't come to fruition during a bloody global pandemic. It's been too hard to do those things. I know that at the end of 2019, I said, you know what, 2020 is going to be the year for me. The year of travel. I will travel the globe. And then no. Although I was very lucky, wasn't I, last year, and I got to go on holiday this time last year for my daughter's birthday. We surprised her, it's on this channel somewhere, and we went to Lanzarote. So I was actually really lucky that I did go outside of my own country last year, which has not been the case for everybody. But my point being that there are lots of things that you wanted to do that are your bigger picture stuff. There is stuff that when you think about creating a life that you absolutely love, they are in that, right? That's the bigger picture. And then there's all this detail in between, and some of that detail, some of that stuff that we wanted to do, the detail that gets us closer to that bigger picture, may have felt really quite stuck in the last year or so, and you might have felt that you haven't progressed in some way, and you're like, I'm not getting closer to that thing. It's allowing yourself to let go of that and to know that the bigger picture's there. You know what it is, you know what you want it to look like. And even if you are taking tiny steps, even if the steps that you are taking are coming from the work that you are doing on your mindset and how you deal with all of this life stuff, then it's still a step towards the bigger picture that you want to create. That's still there for you. That doesn't go away just because you've had to stop for a moment or something has happened. There have been many times in my life where massive stuff has happened, the death of my husband, my children getting sick, having 2 pregnancies, 2 difficult pregnancies of that. But all of those things felt in that moment like they were stagnating certain things, and I had to breathe through them, and I had to go, this is happening, and it's something that I can't control nor change. So what I'm going to do is stay relaxed, stay calm, let it go, let the grasping stop trying to control everything when you can't. Ride the wave and know that there's a bigger story and there's a bigger picture out there for you, and that will still be there, that is still there. So in this moment, control the things that you can control. What can we control? What can you control today to alleviate that fear of uncertainty? You can control what you eat. If you sleep enough, if you drink enough water, whether you move your body, you can control what you are allowing into your space and your brain, whether you're learning, whether you're growing. You can control your reaction to the stuff that is going on. You can control that stuff. And although that doesn't take away the uncertainty that's around you, let go of the notion that you can, because you can't. What that can do is just give you a little bubble where you are that feels a little bit more stable. And we can do that from wherever we are in the world, because we can create that little bubble just in our mind. The shit can be hitting the fan around us, but we can create a space of harmony in our own minds. And it's just about taking the first step and making the decision to do that. That you're going to go, okay, can't control all the other stuff, but I'm going to control how I react, my own little world, my own little space. I'm going to control how I look after myself and the self-care that I put in, and make sure I'm looking after me. And I'm going to create something lovely, even if it's not the bigger picture yet, and know that that is there waiting for me. Now, I hope this bunch of ramblings and stuff about fear and uncertainty has given you some kind of comfort, and just know that every single one of us out there feels the same. We all go through the same, and right now we're all going through the same stuff in our own world, in our own space, in our own way, and you're not alone in this. I promise you're not. The fact that you're part of this community tells me that you're not. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel, click the bell, all of that stuff. And let me know what your current fears are, because I'm going to be talking a lot about fears over the next week or so, and I'd like to have you as part of the conversation. I will speak to you all very soon. Take care of yourself, and peace out.
Take me out to California. Take me out to California. I feel the day.